I'm Tennille Houston, and I am the Tomb Raider. I am Sonia, the Tomb Raider. I think I had it kind of easier than most. I mean, I am the Tomb Raider, and I didn't want to deviate too far. I wanted fans to be able to relate with, you know, the various Tomb Raiders that you see. Angelina Jolie, the video game, they all have that same kind of kick-ass, I don't know, persona about them. So I just kind of approached it in a very real way, where I wanted to bring it to the fight, and I wanted the fans to see that, you know, I'm not just a chick that's going to roll over and be beaten easily. So. I had two falcatas. They look like machetes, so they were about, I don't know, I would say like the blade's about this long with the handle probably this. And a falcata is actually a curved blade, and I got two of them, so that was kind of awesome. I got to wield them together. And they were very actually kind of heavy, so I remember after the first week of training, every day my arms were so sore, and I felt like such a wimp because I like literally could not raise it anymore. So, but I think I got stronger through the process. Oh, I think the sword training made all the difference in the world. Being able to use my falcatas and just be completely comfortable with playing with them and doing certain things allowed me to just, I think, grow in the character and do these things that I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to do, especially when you're working one-on-one with someone so close. You know, you want the battle to look real, and you really are. You're giving all, like in those moments when you're coming down for the attack, your entire body is 100%. It's that last 10% that you stop. So if you don't know how to use the sword or the weapon, it could be very, you know, scary for the other person. So I think it made all the difference. I have actually never worked with swords before I got to do Fantasy Women battles. That was definitely what attracted me to the project in the first place. I'm really athletic, and I had done firearms and stuff like that, but I'd never actually gotten to pick up a sword. So it was an amazing experience.
All right, you guys ready? Hang in there till you get kicked and snap your head. Ready and action.
I think learning swordplay is very much like learning any sport, really. I mean, as long as you're athletic and you have muscle memory and you're driven, I think it's something that you can do and that you can enjoy. And it's definitely, I mean, I worked up a sweat quite a few times, so I think it's something that really pertains to anything, like I said, dance or sports, or just, I don't know, anything kind of aerobic. It just works, being able to move smoothly. And I think actually dance kind of helps with that too, the smoothness of the moves as well. So it looks so easy on camera, and I think the hardest aspect is, you know, you kind of think that everything is sped up or slowed down in post, and you come to realize what I was saying before, which is you really are fighting at 100%. It's that last little bit when you finally stop. So it's almost a dance between two people, because you need to have the trust that when you're going, even though you're slightly stopping, you're still almost going through, and if they don't move when they're supposed to move, then, you know, things can happen. I got a couple of wounds in my training. I got hit a couple of times from my gal, and actually on the day of our fight, we were like really in it intensely, and there was a tiny shift where I think it was like a half step that she didn't take, and I ended up getting her in the finger, and we had to stop the fight, and she was bleeding, and we had to wrap it up and start again. So yeah, it's all about this ebb and flow with your partner, and you know, just really learning the routine.
Ready and action.
I thought it was amazing. I would have even liked to do more. I really loved training. I thought it was something that I can take so much to so many other roles that I have now, and I feel so comfortable like having this other aspect that I can bring to the table, not just another blonde. But the training was intense. Like I said, I mean, it was 3 or 4 days a week. I mean, we tried to train more than what was required because we wanted it to look really good. I probably would have trained every day because I'm type A personality. I wasn't able to because, you know, you have to have your partner for that, and she was busy too. So, but no, I definitely think it was a life-changing event.
Ready and action.
In the outfit, and for the first time, I was definitely nervous. You know, I didn't want to mess up. You want it to look great. You have 3 cameras rolling. There's smoke rolling. You know, there's 40 people that are on set watching you, and you don't. You know, I'm very competitive, like I said. So it's like you want everything to look perfect. And you know, when you're out there, it's a different story. When we're practicing, we had different spots to practice, but we never really could do the entire routine without having to stop and reset. Our fight was actually one of the most like the largest fights. We covered the most space, I think, out of everybody else. So we have a lot of running things, a lot of energy, and I think being on set the first time, and I think that's maybe what happened with our accidents, because all of a sudden we had this huge warehouse where we didn't have to stop and reset. We just went balls to the wall and had at it. So it was pretty crazy. I mean, it was really fun to get in character. The hair and makeup girls were amazing. I had this whole like long Tomb Raider-esque braid going down with this amazing like army outfit, so that was really fun. But I think just the best process, or the thing that I liked the most, was just, like I said, learning the swords. I really feel like even though I trained on the falcatas, I feel much more comfortable now that I could pick up any sword and definitely like learn something quickly and take this to a new role. So I think everybody just worked together really well. I mean, it's intense, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and people want to see different things, and there's a lot of moves in every single fight, and I think that it was really captured well, and we were able to do what we needed to do. And when things weren't working as we thought planned, everybody was very understanding about saying like, okay, well, let's look at this from another angle. So I think everybody worked together really well, and that's a pleasant surprise on a shoot like this. I'm like this, I'm like, come on, Snail, turn slow, and it doesn't work.
I love it.
I'd say there's this one move in particular where there's like the scorpion kick that she has to do, and I have to cut through, and there's just little things that it's awkward. Like, I think sometimes you're just moving your right arm and stepping with your left when you feel like it's the opposite, or vice versa. So it's definitely like learning a new sport. You just have to put the time in, because it's a new muscle memory thing that you're trying to form. So I have to say, I thought Tim was awesome. I learned so much from him, and it's funny, there was a couple points like in the beginning where he'll tell you like he and I got into it, because I'm very level-headed, and like I want you to tell me, I need a reasoning. I'm not like a person that they're like, just do it this way. I'm like, no, you have to tell me why. So there'd be a couple of things where like I would see like fight moves not working, and he would try and explain something, or just like say, oh, we'll just do it this way. And I'm like, so we kind of got into it a couple of times, because we both have this very heated, passionate personality.
She's out of there as your weapon goes. So she's on her way out as the weapon goes. There's no way to hurt her. Absolutely none.
But I think that's also why we get along as well, because we were both very passionate about things. But it was very funny in the beginning. A couple nights I went home and I was like, I just wanted to change this move, and he didn't understand that it didn't work, and he wouldn't listen to me. And then like I'd get there and he'd be like, you know what, you were right on that move, it didn't work. And then same thing, vice versa. So I think it was fun. It was a nice ebb and flow between us.
Good screw up on my part.
No,
I meant to do that.
I know.
Completely.
You didn't take my job, so
Yeah, right.
It's
I'm like, now I've got to replicate whatever
It's
this
a savage world out there.
I thought Karina was amazing. She did a great job, and she had a fantastic look for it. I mean, like her eyes and her whole body and everything was great. Like I said, the only thing is I would have really loved to put in more time. There were some teams that I know that like were working every day, and I was so jealous. Yeah, so it is what it is. Watch and vote for me, because I promise to come back and kick ass even better on the second round.